Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting our next lecture, lecture 10, that is functions in Python. So at this time we have completed all our lectures 9. If you have not watched that video yet, so please watch that video and continue with this video. I hope you clearly understand all the topic at this time in Python and there is no any types of doubt. I hope you understand all the topic as well as and let's start with the our lecture 10 function in Python. So that's the from basic syntax to recursion, writing reusable organized code. Let's begin and welcome again. Here are some basic example of the factorial, like how factorial in a function with use of recursion, how to make a code of a factorial. You remember you have done a simple code of factorial in a loop also. Function and recursion that give you the better way to solve any code in a short method and in a better way. Okay. I hope you clearly understand all this point. So let's begin and let's talk about one by one. Okay. First of all, we have to know what we will cover. So a complete tour of Python functions ending with recursion. That is the agenda. So first of all, we talk about what is a function. Second is the advantage of functions. Third one is the creating a function with a def syntax. Fourth one is the naming convention and docker strings. Okay. Fifth one is the parameter and the argument. Sixth one is the default values, args and the kiosk. And the seventh one is the return statement. Eighth one is the multiple return values. Ninth one is the type of function. 10th one is the lambda function. 11th one is the recursion theory and examples. 12th one is the recursion versus iteration. I hope you clearly understand all this point. So let's move forward. And first of all, talk about, so this is the total agenda of our today lecture. So let's move forward and let's talk about one by one. First of all, the first topic is about what is a function. Okay. So a function is a named reusable block of code that performs a specific task. You write it once and run it as many times as you need. I hope you clearly understand this point. If function is a name, correct, that is reusable, that you can reuse at any time. Of course, that performs a specific task. Okay, you write it only once and run it as many times as you need. I hope you understand. So first of all, what we have to do, that takes input, that is the optional parameters, carries data in. Second one is the does work. What does it mean? So runs a defined block of statements. Third one is the gives output. That optionally returns a result. So these are the main takeaway. And after that, let's create a simple basic function. So just don't overthink at this point. Just know how the basic syntax will look like. Okay, and I will clear your whole doubt in the lecture. Okay. So let's create our basic function and let's do. Okay. So first of all, let's do this. And now just create a new file, that is the function.py. Okay. So now first of all, let's create first of all, yeah. So now create. So start with a def syntax. Okay. What does it mean? I will all told you. Okay. Def square, that's a number. Okay. And yeah, a square equal to number into number and return a square. Yeah. So at this time we created a basic function here at a square function. Like after that, just return done, then just print a square of 5. What is the output of a square of 5? Let's talk. Let's do. That's a 25. Correct? So this is the basic syntax. Like if you want to find a square, not use of the function, how you can find. Okay, let's talk about like just no, at this point, just don't think too much and just make a square using some anyone formula. Okay, anyone topic, anyone you can do. Okay, like use of the operators you can also do. Like let's do with use of the operators. How can we? Like if we have any number that number equal to 5, okay, and I just want to print the square of 5, that is a 25. So how can we do with the operator? So if number equal to 5 and if you want to print, so what we have to do, that is a square equal to number and square exponential value. Okay, exponent we have to find exponent, that is the power using of this double asterisks. And now what we have to do, now just print square. Yeah, now just see what is the output. Output is 25. Correct? Here also 25, here also 25. But why we need function? Why we do this? We can also do this. Why we use function? You can also do the same way here using a simple operator. So what does it mean? Why we use? So just think like if you want to change the number and if you want to print the square again and again, so you do you again and again change the number. That is not possible, and that is not a better way. Change the number, that is a good, but that is not a better way. That's logic is correct, okay, but the runtime and all this thing that take a too much time, okay, so that is not good. So therefore we use a block of code that is reusable, and we have just give us value, and that the value will give us the output using our some function. Okay, you have not changed all the thing again and again. So this is the all this thing. Okay, so I hope you clearly understand what I'm trying to say. So there is no doubt why we use function at this point, and in a next topic you will clearly understand all this point. Okay, so I hope you clearly understand. So just comment out and what we have to do. What do you think? Like we also do something square, cube, all these things we can use of the function. So like if we this is a function and do the some more, like just print square square of 6. Now what is the output? So the output is 36. You also know that's a simple thing. Now just print. So 36. So this is just a basic way. This is syntax of the function in Python. That's how it works. I hope you clearly understand all this point. Okay. So now let's talk about another one. Okay. I hope at this point you clearly understand all these things. So let's move forward. And how this is all the basic syntax, like how we create some function, how we use, and just this is the basic syntax, like how we use function, why we use it, why we need this. So let's move forward and talk about. So these are some basic syntax. I hope you clearly understand this point. And the next thing is what? So the next thing is the anatomy of a function. What does it mean? Like every part of the definition has a job. Okay, like we have to create some function with the help of def keyword and calculate area, then the radius, then the output is this one. Here also a triple quotation that a docker string returns the area of a circle. So all things have some particular part. Let's talk about, and first of all let's do this now. So we have to just create a function for finding the area of a circle. Yeah. So how we can do this? So first of all, let's create a function with a def keyword. So def area, that is the radius. Yeah. Then we have create a variable area. Then just a function name. So you can just do this thing. That's the easy way. That's a return 3.14 into radius into radius. Yeah. You can also do this. Okay. So after doing this, what we have to do, just call the function. So that is the area of what do you want, radius. So if you have to return this, then a print area of radius 2. Okay. So I hope this output is 12.56. Now just print and see what is the output. So 12.5 is correct. So these are all the basic syntax how we create a function. So let's talk about one by one all these things. Okay. So in this function, what does it mean by def? Def is a keyword that starts every function. Always remember these are some rules, these are some keywords we have to also follow. Okay. The second one is what? That is the calculate area. We have to also name as the area. That is the name. Describe what is Dutch. What is Dutch? Okay. Third one is the radius. Radius means that's a parameter. That's the data the function name. Okay. That's what is the doc string. So if you have to put in some triple quotation, that's that triple quote. So that is the what? So that's the explain purpose shown in a help. Okay. And after that we have some return function. So the value sent back to the caller. So I hope you clearly understand all this point and not any types of doubt and any types of confusion at this point. So let's talk about the advantage of functions. What does it mean? Why we break code into functions? Okay. So first of all, it's a reusability means what? Write once, call it anywhere in your program. That's the mean of the reusability. And the second one is the readability. What does it mean? That descriptive names make code self-explanatory. That is the mean of the readability. Third one is the easier debugging. What does it mean? That the isolated blocks are simpler to test and fix. Okay. Fourth one is the avoid repetition. That's a follow drive. Don't repeat yourself. That's the main thing about the avoid repetition. Okay. Fifth one is the modularity. That's mean what? That breaks big problem into a smaller pieces. And the sixth one is the easier collaboration. That means teams can build and own separate functions. So these are the all advantage of functions. Why we need functions? Why we create functions? So reusability, readability, easier debugging, avoid repetition, modularity, and the easier collaboration. I hope you clearly understand all these topics. So now let's move forward. And the main thing, like we have also created, that's how we create a function. We also do these things. So let's talk about one by one. So the def keyword defines a new function. Always remember. The start with the def function name parameters. That is the doc string function body that a return value. That's optional. Okay. So if don't have to return value, so you have to just print here. Okay. So def, that's the keyword that starts a function. After that, we have a name that descriptive unique function name. Then we have a parenthesis, then a colon, and there is an indent. That indented body holds the logic. After that, we have a calling a function name, and argument. So what do we mean by parameter argument? We will talk. Okay. So I hope all these things done. How we create a function, all done. Okay. So now, what do you mean by the naming convention and the doc string? Let's talk. So you have to put some small habits that makes code easy to read. Like what? If you have some, just imagine if you're naming a function. So we have follow some rules that is better for us. So first rule is that we have to use always a snake case. A snake case means what? Like so like just say here, we have to just put that calculate total, not calculate total. That is not a good way. So always use this. Okay. After that, start with a verb. That's a get data, send email, all these things. Third one is the be descriptive, like avoid app, do stuff, temp, all these things be descriptive. Okay. Avoid Python keywords and the built-in names. Always avoid. Okay. Always avoid Python keywords and built-in names. So after that, I think you hope I hope you understand how we naming the function. And the second thing is the dog string. What does it mean? So the string literal placed right uh, after def, like documents what the function does, its parameters and its return value. That's the meaning of the doc string. If you just see here, we have created a function def send email to subject co-comma server. That's the parameter, and these are the doc strings. That's the documents what the function does, its parameter and its return value. Okay, all these things is tell about using a doc string. So these are the definition of a doc string. I hope you clearly understand. Okay. So let's move forward and let's talk about what the difference between the parameters and the arguments. So two terms people often mix up. So we have some confusion. So like, what do you mean by parameter? What do you mean the argument? So what does it mean? And so now let's create a function and do it practically. Okay. So first of all, what we have to do now, yeah, comment out and you just put difference between parameters and arguments. Okay. So now let's create a function of a student. Yeah, we have put some parameter that is a name and we have some age. Okay, done. And do this. After that, return. Uh, yeah, return. So yeah, you also do this. Return. Yeah. So just to do so for the better understanding of parameters and arguments, we have create another thing like this type a square. Square, yeah, square is a better way to understand all this thing. Okay, so you have not have any types of confusion. So a square of num and just return num into num. Okay, and after that just call the function square and use of the print. Yeah, do this print of a square of 3. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. I hope it's done. And now just print and see what is the output. So the output of the square of 3 is the 9. So these are the something you also I've also told you. And here the num is become what? So the num is become parameter. Okay. And 3 is become arguments. So when we talk about practical base, so you clearly understand all these things in better way. I hope you all understand what do you mean by the parameter and what do you mean by the argument. So I think not any types of confusion here. Okay. So these are some ways. So variable is in a function definition placeholder for incoming value. That are parameters, and what is the argument? The actual values you pass in when calling the function. So these are the arguments. So I hope you clearly understand all this point. So yeah, you can do this. Here are some examples also. You have some name and age in here, also and the 21. That is the weight. That is the parameter and that is the argument. I hope you understand all this point. Okay. Now let's move forward and let's talk about the most important thing is the default parameters values. What does it mean? That is a very important topic. So like give a parameter a fallback value. What does it mean? Say like when we create some function and if you want to give some in a parameter, you want to give a value at the parameter. Okay. So therefore that's the optional at a call. So here are the most important three things here. That's the what is the default parameter value? That's the optional at call time. Skip it. And Python uses the default. Always remember. Second one is the ordered method. Default parameters must come after non-default ones. Always remember. Always come after the non-default one. Third one is the override in time. You can not write at the default parameter at the previous because the default before the non-default ones. Okay. And the third one is the override anytime, like a pass a value to replace the default. Okay. Always remember all these things. So let's talk about one by one and now just do. So when we talk about the default parameters, yeah. So let's create a function that's a default student, and this time it's good for understanding name comma age. Yeah, and just put the age value that's a 21, and after that, what you have to do, yeah, all this thing done. Yeah. So just print here, print string name is this one, that's the name, and age is this one, that's the age. Done. So now just print a student of just put name because the age is default. Okay. Not print, just call because you have just print here, so therefore you have to just call. Okay. So now you have some put value as the name of the age, so that's the Ria. Take it Ria. Yeah, done. Now just print and see what is the output. So name is Ria, that is done. We have provide arguments here as a Ria, but and age is 21. How this thing is possible? With the help of default parameters. I hope you clearly understand this topic as well. So when we talk about this, and I think it has optional. If you also provide our own value, like age is 18, just provide. Okay, now see what is the here, and now see. So name is redundant. That's the age is 18. So now the default parameters is not usable. So therefore we have put some another arguments from the on. Okay. So therefore the output is that. So this is the difference. I hope you clearly understand. And what we have to do, is this possible or not? Let's try. If you put here name Ria, 1 second, name Ria, and age is this. So non-default arguments follow default argument. That is not possible. So therefore we always remember, therefore Yeah, you always remember this thing, see how this thing is possible, like the default argument, the default parameter, all these things are always come after the non-default value. Okay, non-default parameters. Yeah, you will also see here that the default parameters must come after non-default ones. Okay, so I hope it's clearly understand to you. That's so the default parameters are always come after the non-default. Okay, so it's done. So now let's move forward, and I hope you all understand the default parameters value, and let's move forward and talk about what do you mean by the argument args and the double stick kwrgs. Okay, what does it mean? Let's talk about. Okay, okay, sorry. So handling an unknown number of arguments. If we have to handle an unknown number of arguments, then what does it mean? How this thing is possible? Let's talk about. So what do you mean by stock args? That's the args that collects extra positional arguments into a tuple. Okay, like what? You have some created a function that's a def add all, and it this mean what? That's a collect extra positional argument into a tuple. Always remember. Okay, so that's the after that we return sum of arcs, all these things you know. And what does it mean? Let's talk about one by one also. And after that, that's all these things. Okay. So let's do this code and let's do this. Okay, and let's know how this thing is possible. Yeah. So let's create a function named def, and after that add add all, then provide some arguments this type. Yeah, then return sum of what do you mean by return? Any return, then return anything. Okay, and then return this one. Yeah, that's the extra this, and after that just print add all, add all. Yeah, 1 2 3 4. Now just see what is the output. 10. So how this thing is possible? Let's talk about one by one. Okay, so just see here, it's been what? It's been collect extra positional arguments into a tuple. Always collect extra positional arguments. Okay, so these are the whole things. So why we use this strict arc? So you just see here. Okay, and what do you mean by the double strict kwargs? KWARGS. What does it mean? So that collects extra keywords argument into dictionary. That's positional argument into a tuple. But this is the extra keyword argument into a dictionary. So therefore we use this one instead of strict arcs. Okay. So what does it mean? Like when we create any function, and why we that's mean of the extra keywords argument into a dictionary. What does it mean? Let's do this, and now let's try. Okay, so when we just comment out, and let's talk about this one. Yeah, so when we clear def, yeah, anything you want to add, you can. Okay, yeah. So what we have to do, so just do this. Let's create this one. Yeah, and now just show. Yeah, you can do also this thing, so you can do, and after that you have just print, okay, and just see what is the output here, like not this type because you are just okay, yeah, and age is 8. Now just print and see what is the output. Yeah, it's created a dictionary with the help of the KWARGS. So what do you mean by the ARCS, ARGS and the KWARGS? So these are the whole thing about you should know. So ARCS used in a tuple and the KWARGS in a used in a dictionary. So these are the all two difference, and all these things you have to know using uh, in tuple and a dictionary based question. Okay, I hope you clearly understand these all things, and there is no any types of doubt at this point. So let's move forward. Yeah. So I hope it's done. So the most important thing is what? So that is the return statement. This means so the sends a result back to wherever the function was called. Like what? So return means what? That's the end execution. If you have to end any execution, then you have to put return immediately exits the function. Therefore, we put the return statement. Okay. I hope you understand why we use the return statement. Second one is the sends value back. The caller can store or reusable that value, reuse that value. Third one is the no return means none. A function without return sends back none. Always remember. Okay, if the function without return sends back none. Okay, so we have some this one, and let's create another function. So for better understanding, okay, the return statement. Yeah. So def add a comma b, and then put what return a plus b. Yeah. After that, what we have to do, just put here print add 5 comma 3. Okay, now just see what is output. Its output is 8. 8. Done. So these are using our return statement, and if you used here, so just if you are using also this type, so yeah, try this one and let's see. Then a plus b here, and now just call the function and just see what about output. So output is also the same. So you can also do this instead of the return statement. Okay. I hope you clearly understand this point. Yeah. So these are all the things about the return statements. I hope you done. So let's do. Okay. Now, our next topic is multiple return values. What does it mean? So Python can return more than one value at once. Okay. So like how it works, let's talk about. So first of all, values are packed into a tuple automatically. That's the thing. And the second thing is what? That's the unpack them into separate variables on return. Second thing. And the third thing is great for function with more than one result. Okay. So these are the all things like how the multiple values, multiple return values works. Okay. So if we talk about this thing, so how this thing works, so let's do one by one. Okay. So now what we have to do, like our next topic is multiple return statement, multiple return statement. Okay, so let's do reading. So def mean max equal to uh, yeah, no, this type def mean max, and we have some any arguments like any parameters like numbers, and then what we have to do, any parameters like numbers, yeah, thus type, and after that just return uh, mean of numbers, comma, max of numbers. Yeah, I hope it's good. And after that what we have to do, it's a function will be completed, and now just call the function with the help of what, just create a two types of variable, that's the low and high, and after that it's also packed with the tuple. So how this thing is possible, let's do this. Okay, so now what we have to do, so we have to do this thing. So we have like low comma high, just do this type, and this thing, and now just low high equal to mean max, that's a function name. Yeah, correct. And then that is any number. Okay, like in any list that 1 2 3 4. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to just print low comma high, high. Okay, done. Now just print and see what is the output. One is the low and high is the 4. So it also works with the help of the multiple return statement. Like just say if you have any numbers and you have to print some minimum number and some maximum number. Okay, with the help of the function as the multiple return statement inside a same function. Okay, so you can do that. You can do this thing with the help of this method. This is the one of the very best method I ever told you. Okay, so you can do this. So this is the another types of the, this is just a type of the how the multiple return statement will work. Okay, I hope you clearly understand this topic. Okay, so let's move forward, and it's done for you. So now the most important thing in our lecture is what, that's the types of functions. This is very important. Like just see, every function in Python falls into one of these groups. Okay, always remember. That's the first one is what? So first one is the built-in functions. In built-in functions, that is ready to use part of Python itself. Have you ever seen that's a print, length, type? It's all sorts of built-in functions. These are already built inside this. You have to just use. So these are the also a built example of built-in function. Second one is the user-defined function. So what does it mean? So the user-defined function created by you with the def keyword. Always remember, user defined function, like you just define any function name, that's add local, anything, area of circle, like all types of function if you have created. So these function are user defined function that is created by you with the def keyword. Always remember, you have just do this. The third one and the most important one is the lambda function. Lambda function, why we use lambda function? It is used for small anonymous single expression. Like if you have to square, if you have to do the multiplication of two, like you have to multiply up to, what does it mean? So use of the lambda function. This is a very with the help of this method, with the help of this lambda function, you can write the code in a single line. Like it's very useful, and you can do in multiple way. Okay, I will told you about the lambda function in upcoming slide. And the fourth one, and it is the most important one, is recursive function. What? A recursive function is what? A function that call itself to solve a problem. Understand? If any function that calls itself to solve a problem, that is known as the recursive function. Okay, so what does it mean here? Just see def f and return f of n minus 1. What does it mean? So we will talk all these things in brief. So I hope it's all done. Built-in function, user-defined function, lambda function, recursive function, all done. So let's move forward. And the third one that's we have to talk about, that's the lambda function. What does it mean? So in lambda function, yeah, that is what is the syntax. Already remember if you remember the syntax, then you can write any code. Just remember the syntax now, like how the syntax will work. Okay, so a small lambda function, that's a small anonymous function defined in a single line. Okay, and these are the syntax, like these are the lambda arguments, and these are the expression. Okay, these are the arguments and these are the expression. Okay, so if you want to print anything, like you want to a square, okay, with the help of the lambda x colon x square, print a square. This one also you can write. Sorry. So these are the output you also find. So let's talk about this thing, like no name needed. Used one, write where it's needed. Always remember. Second one is the one expression only. Always remember, only one expression only. Third one is the common with map function, filter, and the sorted. All these things great for sort through away logic. So these are the also example of this. And with the help of this, we have to use the lambda function. So let's try the one code for the lambda function. Okay. So what we have to do? So in lambda function, uh, we have to write this thing. Like in lambda function, what we have to do, first of all, if you want to print the square, yeah, a square, with the help of lambda, the syntax is lambda arguments, and we have expression. That's the square. Done. All done. Now just after that, what we have to do? Just do this. Print a square of four. Okay. And now just see what is output. So the output is 16. Now just run this. So the output is 16. So if you want to print the square with the help of function, you can also do, and with the help of the lambda function. So this is inside a single line, and all the thing we have to done. So if you remember the syntax, so this is easy for you always. I hope you understand all this topic. And let's do one thing. If you want to print the cube, okay, of any number, yeah, cube equal to lambda. If you want any variable name, you have to do. Okay, that's done. And this one is cube. Okay, yeah, yeah. So now just print cube of x, cube of anything, 6. Okay, now the already yeah, now the cube of 6 is 216. 216. Done. I hope you understand this topic, how this thing works. So if you found the cube of the any function, you can do by the help of this method. Okay, with the help of lambda you can do this. Okay, yeah. Now what we have to do, that's a square done, and the second thing, that's a cube done. Okay, now we have to move forward to solve this. The most important thing inside the lambda, like the use of the map, use of the filtered, and use of the sorted. How this thing work, and let's talk about one by one. Okay. So lambda and epsilon, like paired with map, filter, and sorted. So if you do this, like this thing, okay. So like in map function, what we have to do? So we have any list, okay, and we have just want. I just want to multiply with 2. Okay, I just want to multiply with 2 with the all elements inside the list with the help of the map function. So how we can do? So we can do by the this method. Okay, this is the one of the best method I've ever seen. If you want to do in a single line, so you can do this type. Okay, so how this thing is possible? Let's talk about. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, use the with the help of map. Do this. So like if we have a nums 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and what we have to do. So if I just want to using a map function and I just want to print some output with the result, like let's create any variable result equal to list of the map of lambda because we have to add lambda. We have to also put this lambda outside and the result will be print inside. But we have to just do this a single line. So how it is possible? Let's talk this thing. Lambda is any argument that x and x into 2 because we have to multiply with 2. Okay, and after that the second one is the num, that's the this one because this inside this. Okay, done. Now just print result and see what is the output. 2 4 6 1 into 2 2, 2 into 2 4, 3 into 2 6, 4 into 2 8. Done. So I hope you understand all these things, like how this thing will work. So you can also do this thing outside this, and that output you have to just enter here, and we have to just add here. We have to add some. These are the this one. So we have to also this one. So you can do this, and after the print result with the help of the map function. This is a very easy method that you can do this. Okay. I hope you understand. Yeah. So our the next one is the filter. How we use the filter function here? Filter method, yeah. So with the help of the filter, if I want to, like if I want to filter from that, if I want to filter means like if you want to something want from that list, yeah, anything. Okay. So with the help of the filter, you can find this by a easy method. Okay, that is also a, like a, if that is also a type. It's also matchable with the map, but there is just some consequences. So do this like so. Like if you have a num, same. Okay, num, and this type what we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now I just want to print only the sum number or only the even number from the num. With the help of the filter, how can we do? So let's try and let's do that. Okay. So first of all, what we have to do, like we have also create a same variable as a result, and then that we have a list of filter of lambda, same method lambda x, and what is the syntax of finding the even number, that x divided by at modulus division by 2 equal to 0, that is the even number, comma, and that is inside the nums. Done. And now just print result. Yeah, do this type, and now just print the output. Just see, 2 is even number, 4 is even number, 6 is even number, and 8 is even number. If I want to print the odd number that is not equal to 0, then the output will become, just see. Now to 1, 3, 5, 7, that's our odd number. Okay, I hope you understand use of the map and use of the filter. Okay, so it's done. I hope it's clearly understanding to you by this method. And our the next one is the sorted. Why we what do we mean by use of sorted? Like just see here, just watch. Pairs, like we have some pairs, this one and this one, okay, and we have the result that is sorted pair, comma, key equal to lambda, this one, and these are the first index, like, okay, and what this means, like, that's a 2a and a 1b, okay. This means what? This means that is a sorted. Uh, this is the use of the sort. By the help of for this, we can sorted these pairs. Okay, like a help of this. Okay, so this is also important. You can do with the help of this sorter. So you can do, okay. So like we have some pairs and we have some result that with the help of this method sorted pairs comma key. That's the key. This one, and that's a lambda anyone p. That's the p, and that's the p, that's the key, okay, and that's the first index, okay, that's the a, okay. So this is also a method of this can you also find this is also a action inside the lambda function, so you can do all these things, okay. I hope in action it's enough. So let's move forward, and let's talk about the most important thing here, that is recursion. And what is it? Let's talk about in detail based, okay. So, recursion. So, recursion is a function that calls itself to solve a smaller version of the problem. Okay. So, if any function that calls itself to solve any smaller version of the problem, that's known as a recursion. Recursion happens when a function calls itself, like directly or indirectly, to break a big problem into a smaller, identical subproblem until it's simple enough to solve directly. I hope you understand. When a function call itself, that's known as a recursion. Just know, okay. That means what? First of all, that is the self-referencing. The function body contains a call to itself. Okay. Second one is the shrinks the problem. The problem is shrinked at that point. That means each call works on a smaller input. Third one is the must stop eventually. That is the most important thing. A base case ends the chain of calls. So why the base case is important in recursion? What is the base case? I have told you. So let's stop. Okay. So like this is just an example of recursion. Like we have a depth countdown and a print and after that countdown and minus one. That calls itself again. So these are the types of recursion, and these are some method we have some follow. Like just carefully here. This example never stop. Why? It is missing a base case because the base case is not here. The function is running all time. So it's recursive forever until Python raise a recursion error. That error is known as a recursion error. So you can do this. Okay. So let's talk about the anatomy of a recursive function. What does it mean, and what do you mean by the base case and the recursive case? That is the most important cases inside the recursive function. Okay. So in base case, what does it mean? So the condition that stop the recursion solve directly without another call. If you write any function with in a function in a recursive function, you have to always put a base case. Without a base case, that's the function give us some error that's known as a recursion error. Yeah, and it's also causes the recursive forever. It's also is recursive forever. That's the function is running all time. Okay, that's the problem at that point. So that we have to always put some base cases. So here are some example, like how this base case is n equal to 0, there is a return 1. So these are some base cases, or these are some recursive cases where the calls the function again on a smaller piece of the problem. These are some factorial. It are the code for the factorial. So I will do it in a practical based. So these are all these things, the base cases and the recursive cases. So we will do all this. So let's move forward at this point. And now let's talk about the recursion example. So in recursion example, we have a factorial. Factorial means like a tracing factorials for a through the call stack. What does it mean? Like if you let's talk about a recursive function, a question. That's why we have to find some factorial. Okay. So how this thing is possible? Let's talk about. Okay. So recursion, yeah, factorial, factorial with the help of recursion. Okay. So what we have to do at this point? So just do this thing. That in recursion we have to put the factorial. So let's do this. Def create any function name that's factorial, yeah, and factorial and yeah, we have to find any factorial of and. Okay. Then if let's create a base case. If n equal to 0, that means return 1. Else return factorial, sorry, return n into, that's a method, that's a n into factorial of n minus 1. These are the whole methods, so we have to sort of follow like how this thing will work. So recursive function we talk about, and now just print, and now we will talk how we can write this all these things. So now first of all the function created, and just call this function. Okay. Now just print factorial 5. What is the factorial of 5? That is the 120. If you want to print factorial of 6, that is 720. So from this method you can find the factorial by the easy way, and how this thing will work, let's talk about. Okay. So just see, what does it mean? And means that if you find some factorial of 4, like, okay, let's talk about the 4. Okay. So factorial of 4 means that n equal to 4. Okay. And so if n equal to 4, done. If n return n into factorial of n minus 1. What does it mean? So n equal to 4, 4 into factorial of 3. Okay. What is the factorial of 3? 3 into factorial of 2. What is the factorial of 2? 2 into factorial of 1. What is the factorial of 1? 1 into factorial of 0. And that factorial of 0, like factorial of 0 means if n equal to 0, that means the return 1. Therefore the returns here, that's here returns 1. And all these things, that's a multiply, that give us the 4 3 2 1, that's a 24. That is the output. So how the recursion is worked, how the recursion is working, so you can see here in detail based. I will told you also that's how the factorial this question will be done. Okay. So they are the call stack, each calls wait for the next one to finish before it can multiply and return. Always remember, each calls waits for the next one to finish before it can multiply and return. I hope you can understand this all this thing, how we can find the factorial with the help of the recursion. Okay. So let's talk one more example. Okay, with the help of recursion. This time, if we want to do question for Fibonacci series, I want to print some Fibonacci series. Okay, so do that. Okay, Fibonacci series. Yeah. So in this series, what we have to do? We have to just do def fib of n. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the whole function. How we can write the Fibonacci series, like if n is less than equal to 1, that we have to return n. And if that is not possible, then what we have to do? That then we have to just return fib n minus 1 plus fib n minus 2. This means what? N minus 1 is 2. Like an example, let's take an example of 2. Okay. Example of 2 means what? That's the fib of 2 minus 1. That's a 1. 2 minus 2, 0. So 0. and 1. That means this one. So if 0 is less than equal to 0, that's a return 0, and the 1 is less than equal to 1, that's a 1. So 1 plus 0, that's a 1. So therefore all these things happen, and therefore you cannot find anything. Like if you want to print fib of 6, this one, so the output is become so 7 13 6 8. So now just print fib of 5, the output is 5. Correct. So 8 and 5 at that as will be 13, that is the correct. So this is the example of the Fibonacci series. That's how you can complete all these things. Okay, I hope you understand this point, and how the recursion will work you clearly understand. Okay, so now the most important thing, let's talk about the difference between the recursion and iteration. What is the main difference between this? So two ways to repeat work. What does it mean? So like same result, different trade-offs. Like in recursive, we have some create a factorial function like here, and we have to find a factorial with the help of this. And we have to do iterative function. And what we have to do, we have to find factorial, but we have to do some iteration. And with the help of the iteration, we can find the result. Okay. So what is the difference between these two things? Like, let's talk about this thing. So in recursive base we have done. So we can also find the factorial with the help of the iteration test. Okay. So how we can find this? So let's do this code. Okay, on practical base, and then find how this thing is possible. So what we have to do, like for the iterative. Okay. So create from def factorial. Okay, def factorial of any n. Yeah. So after find any factorial n, you have to just see here the find any factorial n. That's a result what we have to prove with the help of the iteration. Okay. So like a result equal to 1, and for I in range 1 to n plus 1, that's the range, that's n plus 1 means 1 to n. Okay, result is 1 and the range is 1 to n plus 1, and the result plus equal to result into I, that we have to also done this. Okay, so how this thing is possible, that the result will become here 1, and create a for loop. So for I in range, for I in range 1 to n plus 1, so for I in range 1 to n plus 1, result will become iterative. For that, this one I means what? Means result equal to result into I. And now what we have to do, we have to just here return result with the help of def. Okay, therefore this done. And now just see what is the output. Okay, return done. Now just call this function. So print factorial 5. So the factorial of 5 is a 120. So the output is 120. I hope you understand all this point, how this point will look like. Okay. So I hope you know what is the difference between the iteration and recursion. You clearly understand this point at this time. So let's do this based on the readability. What we have to do in recursion, often clearer for naturally recursive problem, but in iteration can be more direct for simple loops. Okay. In memory uses extra memory, one stack frame per call, or very important in recursion. But the iteration means uses constant memory, no call stack growth. Okay. In speed, the recursion is slightly slower due to function call overhead. Okay. But in iteration, usually first of all simple repetition. Okay. So best for trees, graphs, divide, and concave. We have to solve then DSA problem with the help of tree graphs problem. Then the recursion will be useful. Okay. But in iteration, that is the counting, summing, a straightforward loop. So based on that, we have to use iteration. So these are the most difference between the recursion and iteration. So I hope you all understand the difference between the recursion and iteration. So these are the all examples. Okay. So let's talk about some key takeaways. So what we learned today. So we learned a function is a reusable name block of code. Okay. Second one is what? Def creates it parameters and return control data in out. Okay. Third one is default value and aux and this ARGS and the KWRDS, KWRDS are flexibility. We have do this in tuples and the dictionary based. And types, that's the built-in user defined lambda and recursive. We have told we have all know. I hope you clearly understand all the four types. In recursion, a function calling itself on a smaller input, you also told this, I've also told this, and the every recursive function needs a base case and a recursive case, you have also do this. Last one is what? Recursion favor clarity on tree-like problems, iteration favor speed and memory. So these are the main basic difference between the iteration and the recursion. So I hope all done, and there is no doubt at this point. So enough for today. So I hope you like this video. So if you like this video, please like, and if you have any doubt, please put in the comment section, and please put in the comment section, and please subscribe my channel, and please hit the bell icon. Okay. So enough for today. Thank you.